Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here with my friend Brandon, and he is an agent in Michigan.
Hey guys, welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Luna. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, Brandon. So why don't you do a brief intro to let my viewers know who you are, what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm a real estate agent, as you mentioned. I own a real estate company here in Michigan, and I built my real estate business through for sale by owners. I think it's one of the best opportunities an agent has to build their business. 4 years ago, I started training real estate agents all over the country my reverse selling system on how they can go out there and become a listing agent. And so we've built an online course and a training company to help agents through that process and helping agents learn a new skill set on how to communicate, how to build their business through prospecting, what to say, what to do, how to do it, so they can, essentially get to the point where they're listing one property every single week.
That's amazing, because when you reach out to me, I was like, oh my God, that cannot be true, because I watched a video prior, and even in my previous video, I mentioned you once. I was like, so I watched this guy's video. He said the shiny object syndrome of, realtors. So when you reached out, I'm like, I know that's the Fsbo guy. So why don't we talk about your approach with for sale by owner?
Absolutely. So here's what the industry taught me, and what the industry has taught every real estate agent, is to call these for sale by owners, Luna, and try to convince the for sale by owner that selling their property on their own is wrong and that listing with a real estate agent is better. And for the first 10 years in the business, I did that, and I did okay with it. I was selling 30, 40 houses a year using that approach. But here's what I found. What I found was about 5.5, 6 years ago, I started doing a different approach that I now call today reverse selling. And what that means, essentially, step one is to no longer argue with the for sale by owner. A matter of fact, stay agreeable with the for sale by owner. I started to come from a place of contribution versus trying to sell them, try to convince them, you're wrong, I'm right, you're dumb, I'm smart. I stopped doing that. So the first thing that I do, Luna, that I teach all of my students is and it's very counterintuitive. When I say this, a lot of agents get very, very nervous. But I tell them, the for sale by owner, listen, you're not wrong for trying to selling your house on your own. You're going to have all these other agents in the marketplace call you and tell you you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I think you should try to sell your house on your own. Okay.
I like that.
So that's step one. That's step one. That's called a pattern interrupt, right? When we look at sales training and reverse selling, what I teach, that's called a pattern interrupt, because the for sale by owner is so used to getting phone calls, Luna, from real estate agents saying the same thing over and over again, trying to convince them they're wrong and why listing with an agent is better for them. And then I call and I say the exact opposite. And so they like that approach. So that was step one. Step two is focusing on getting a face-to-face appointment, not a listing appointment, a face-to-face preview appointment. Now, here's why. This is where all the agents say, Brandon, why are you doing that? Don't you think that's a huge waste of time?
Don't you think preview is waste of time? Because I was going to ask you the same thing.
There you go. So let's talk through that. So here's the deal. What traditional real estate coaching has trained us, Luna, is they believe we can call a complete stranger out of the blue, ask them to meet with us, ask them to list their house with us for the very first time with no relationship at all, right? And you and I both agree that that's very, very, very difficult to do, to call a stranger for the first time and ask them to list their house with us when they don't know us and we don't know them. Would you agree?
Right. No, I agree. I agree with everything you said, but my question is, what's the follow-up? Okay, go ahead.
Yep, I'm gonna get through that whole thing. So here's what happens. Here's the genius behind the preview appointment. Let me explain why this works so well. So you're a big telephone prospector, right?
Over the telephone on a cold call,
yeah,
it's a simple no. A lot of rejection, yes.
There's a lot of rejection, a lot of objections. And the reason why is it's very easy for people to give you those objections or rejection over the phone. However, if you get face-to-face, belly to belly, don't you believe that it's a different interaction when you get face-to-face with somebody?
Yep.
What's that?
Yes.
Right? And so when I learned this, when I said, wait, instead of me trying to overcome their objections over the telephone, why don't I just focus on getting face-to-face? And Luna, here's what I found. What I found was for the first 10 years, a decade of calling for sale by owners, trying to overcome objections over the phone, it worked okay. When I got face-to-face, they were completely different. When I got face-to-face, they didn't give me any objections. They told me the truth. They weren't as mean. They weren't as rude. They didn't give me as much rejection as they did over the telephone. It was a completely different interaction.
Can I add on something to what you're saying? Please. I absolutely agree. Because last year I did it for sale by owner. It's an estate house. They're selling for their mother. I didn't have a preview. I actually walked into their open house because I know they're showing it to public. When I went there, I gave them my business card. They called me 2 weeks after. They want me to list. Asked me about my commission, told them 5% because that's what our market is charging. I didn't go for 4. I just told them 5. He said he needs to think about it. Call me back another 2 weeks. Actually, we signed the deal. What I find out later on is during the process of working on the deal, they're actually super respectful. They call me all the time to ask me for my opinion of what to do with negotiation. But when I first initial called him on the phone, he was kind of rude. He says he's not interested. It's a complete different personality.
That's exactly. You nailed it. So after my students and the agents that I train at my company learn that, for the very first time, they're like, wow, that's a huge aha. Because my whole career, I've been taught to sell over the phone, sell. You know, overcome the objection. What I have found, Luna, is that a lot of people in this market, sometimes they don't sell that property on their own. What I'm asking is, would you consider other options way down the road if you had to?
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. How do you think about my price? Did I price it right?
Yeah, good question, right? And so you give me all these objections. So they say yes, no, maybe so. All I'm trying to get is the appointment. Okay?
You're just trying to meet them. You try to get the FaceTime.
I don't take any of, every time you give me these objections, I don't overcome these objections. That's the other thing. You
don't try to correct me. You don't try to
no.
that. Okay.
Hell no. That's the worst thing you could ever do with for sale by owner, because you get into this back and forth argument. This is what all these real estate trainers want to teach you to do, right? They give you an objection, overcome the objection. Don't overcome any of them. Just
what do you actually do when you go there to meet them in person?
Yep. So let's get to it. So we talked about the first call, setting the appointment. Step 2 is when I go on the face-to-face appointment, I do a property tour. I do a CMA presentation. I present my for sale by owner backup strategy. I go through my Fsbo value proposition, and then I plant a backup seed. So hear me out. I don't go there trying to list the property. I go there encouraging them to sell on their own, which is very different than what every other agent's doing. And I tell them, here is a plan, Luna, for you to fall back on in the event you can't sell your house on your own. And they love it. They're like, Brandon, you're the only realtor that come in my house not trying to sell me on listing my property. So they're very apt to listen to me. So then I don't try to sell them, right? Step 1 and step 2 is just building that relationship, right? Now we get into the follow-up. So I've met with them, or I've talked to them, I met with them. Now I'm into my follow-up system. And remember, the whole time I've been talking about this backup strategy. You should try to sell on your own. This is only if you need it, right? Well, what happens more times than not with Fsbos? Do they sell on their own, or do they end up?
No, they don't. They very rare sell on their own.
That's right. So here's the mistake that most realtors are making. They know that, but why are they trying to sell the listing in the beginning where they know it takes some time to get the listing in the future, right? You would agree?
Yeah.
So why not build a follow-up system so that when the person is trying to sell on their own and they're failing, you become the obvious choice in 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks down the road. So my follow-up system is built like this. Monday, we do a follow-up phone call every single Monday for the for sale by owner. Tuesday, they get a direct mail letter. We use a company called Banner Season, sends them a letter every single week automatically. Wednesday, they get a video email. Thursday, we're doing a Facebook retargeting ad to all the Fsbos in the marketplace. And then Friday, we do a text message. Saturday, we visit some open houses, okay? So we do that follow-up system over the course of 3 to 5 weeks. The whole time, Luna, we're using this same message, and that is this. We're saying, hey, Luna, when we met, we talked about this My For Sale by Owner backup plan. We talked about the importance of you not staying on the market for a long period of time because you end up losing money if it takes too long to sell. Remember that conversation? And they say, yes. I say, do you think it's time for us to get back and look at a strategy to get the property on the market and get it sold? And so we do this over the course of 3 to 5 weeks to the point where we get a lot of people in our pipeline. We get a lot of listing opportunities, and that's how we can build a consistent pipeline of Fsbos. So that's step 3 is the follow-up system.
Right.
Then step 4 is what I teach all my students is like what I call the reverse selling listing consultation. So when we go there, we're walking them through a specific process to get them to sign the contract.
Okay.
So that's like the 4-step process. So the whole thing in 45 days, I can have a brand new realtor meeting with 10 or 15, 20 Fsbos a month. Those are going to turn into 4 to 6 listing appointments the next month. And now they're in momentum. Now they're constantly presenting to For Sale by Owners every single week. But the mistake realtors make is they take the bait. They take all these objections as gospel. They say, Luna, I'm never going to sell my house. I've got a friend in the business. What do you think of my price? I'm not going to pay commission. And these realtors are trying to overcome these objections. It's a huge mistake.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. No, I agree with you. That's kind of my approach too with For Sale by Owners. I don't try to close them right away, but I also make my intention clear. Because I don't want them to think I'm bringing a buyer. I'm never bringing a buyer.
Never bringing a buyer. Yep. We always communicate a backup strategy only.
Right.
So from a high level, that's what our system looks like.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, that's kind of, how I would suggest new agents to go about Fsbo as well. But how much would you say the conversion rate is? If you get, let's say 100 For Sale by Owner listing in your area, how many of them they actually sell?
Yep, I'll walk you through it. So you're asking about my famous Fsbo follow-up funnel. So here are the conversions if your audience wants to take notes. So every market has about 3 new Fsbos a day. That's 100 in a month. Okay, so here's what it breaks down to. Out of the 100, okay, you're going to be able to meet with 35%. Okay. Or 35. That's the conversion from first contact to qualified preview appointment. Okay. Qualified preview appointment, meaning the For Sale by Owner agrees to meet with you to talk about the backup strategy. Okay. 35%. Now, of the 35%, 75%, this is on average, this is out of 300 of my coaching students and out of thousands of listings all over the country in every single market. So we got 100 Fsbos, you meet with 35. Of the 35, you should be able to present to about 50% of those. You're gonna present a listing presentation, and you should be able to convert 75% of those. So when
that half.
Yep. So what it breaks down to is out of 100 listings, out of 100, let's just say you get your Fsbos through Mojo or RedX or Vulcan 7 or Zillow. Out of 100, any agent that follows this system should be able to get 4 to 6 Fsbo listings a month.
The best part with Fsbo is you don't have to buy data. You can just call them from Zillow.
You got it.
I think that's a great practice for new agents too, because Expire might take a lot more during the first initial phone call because they're more aggressive. They just hang up. Whereas Fsbo, they still entertain with you. They still wanted to talk to agents. Hopefully that you can bring a buyer, but they're still open to talk to you, which is good. It's
a consistent lead source for new realtors. It's the easiest way for agents to get face-to-face with real sellers.
Right. What I find out is, which I agree, is, it does take a lot of follow-ups with Fsbo. That's kind of with all the leads too. A cold call lead, it takes follow-up. So as Fsbo. I mean, Fsbo can be a little mean and cheap, in my opinion, because that's why they go on Fsbo to begin with.
Yeah.
But if you guys are, just be patient and keep doing the follow-up, like Brandon said, with the system, then you should be having success with Fsbo. You got
nailed it. It's
yeah.
the patience word. You got to stay patient. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for giving us, a guideline of your system and how exactly we can step-by-step working to get for sale by owner leads. And if you guys want more information, just be sure to check out on Brandon's channel. I'll link it down below. Thank you so much for being on my channel. And I look forward for maybe more episodes in the future.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Luna.
Alrighty. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.